The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 13th day of May. Oh, it's Friday the 13th. Interesting. I just put that together. A little slow. Hey, look, we all have the Sherry days. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communication and Linda's. I'm Jamel Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpoo, and Liana Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, how are you?
That's okay. Go along and open up the door. I will always walk through, unlike yourself, who,
I don't have to walk through. I can go under. Took it from you. Aha!
That's okay.
Yeah, look. See, look, if there's one thing I learned from Eminem, is he was a great battle rapper because he said everything about himself before his opponents can do it to him. See? Took that
Well, you're just learning that today.
I see how you are. Look, I'm not gonna tell everybody how you text me telling you how much you love me, little brother, and all that there just yesterday. You didn't delete it yet. You didn't delete it. Or was it the day before? You haven't deleted it.
I have deleted that. There is no proof of anything. One thing a seasoned person does is know how to cover thyself. There's always a loophole, Jamal. Always.
She finds it. Folks, her and Liana won't let me be grumpy and miserable in peace, right? I'm like, why are you grumpy? And Liana, okay, all this happy-go-lucky stuff trying to make me smile when I don't want to smile. Let me have my 2 seconds of angriness.
Well,
right?
it was 2 seconds, but if it was like almost 3, and we was like, yo, like, seriously, it's Friday. You're being a firecracker on a Friday is what Liana said, a firecracker. Fridays.
Yeah. But, honestly, in all seriousness, you have to surround yourself with people like this, especially when you have a personality like me. They do bring out the best in me because balance is needed. I love them the same. They're all right. And Liana's backstage yelling, "Yeah, Sherry," just coming at me right now, folks. I'm telling you, it's a different feel. But happy Friday to you. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. We're actually had some technical challenges this morning, so no Dr. Gina Tucker. We're gonna bring her next week. Right, we're gonna have the daily place. Gonna be the feud, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna have some feel good Friday today, but we're gonna start off with asking about the governor's decision to reserve a cent on the government's cannabis bill. But then the second part of the show, we're gonna ask, what does Bermudian heritage mean to you? Feel good Friday. What does Bermudian heritage mean to you? And last week we had the Minister of Youth, Culture, and Sport, Dr. the Honorable Ernest Peets on, and we were discussing culture and heritage. And I know some of the challenges that Sherry and I mentioned was when we were in college. I went to college in a space where there were a lot of Bermudians and Huntsville. Sherry, they're long before me. But seeing us, a lot of Bermudians, the argument whether we had a culture, whether we had heritage. So we want to ask the audience, what does Bermudian heritage mean to you? But before we get there, Sherry, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know nothing about. I didn't read the cannabis bill. I know nothing about how Britain operates in a cent, reserve a cent, whatever all this crap means. But that said, a decision by Governor Rena Lauji. Sorry for the name pronunciation, Governor. You tell me. Rena Lauji, the governor, she said she was going to reserve a cent on the government's controversial flagship cannabis legislation, which, according to the Royal Gazette, plunged Bermuda into uncharted constitutional waters yesterday. David Burt, the premier, as stated in the Gazette, said that if the move to legalize the consumption and production of the drug was not granted royal assent, it would destroy relations with London. Well, the governor said in her statement that the Cannabis Licensing Act of 2022 appeared to her to be inconsistent with what she understood to be obligations held by the UK and Bermuda under UN conventions. She said, I therefore have no choice but to reserve assent on the bill under Section 35(2) of Constitution and to notify the Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Affairs. She goes on to say, I hope that Bermudian officials will work together with UK officials to find a way forward, one that does not result in life-changing criminal records for using small amounts of cannabis and unlocks commercial opportunities whilst maintaining Bermuda's excellent reputation for upholding the rule of law. Reserving assent, according to the Royal Gazette, stops short of refusing assent, and the governor added the UK has supported and is currently assisting some of the Crown dependencies and other territories to develop a way which is compliant with the relevant conventions. The Cannabis Licensing Act did pass Parliament on March 30th, according to the Royal Gazette, but the more than month-long delay in it bringing it to the governor for consideration was branded unusual by the One Bermuda Alliance former Premier Craig Cannonier, who said he was heard behind the scenes. Negotiations with London were taking place on the matter. Now, I am very honest with the audience. I know not of what this means for Bermuda's relationship with the UK. But there are people who have said under their breath, which I heard, obviously. Yeah, it's weird when people say things under the breath, but it's written on like social media. But there are people who think that the premier is going to use this opportunity to push for independence and so on. But I think the question of the audience this morning is, what are your thoughts on the governor's decision to reserve assent on the government's cannabis bill? Now, to be honest, I'm Sherry. This is another thing I don't know and I couldn't find last night. We just don't have the best places to look for research in Bermuda.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time a governor didn't give assent to something for the government. I really don't remember. I thought that with the same-sex marriage,
Sex marriage.
I thought that they would reserve assent, or but they went along with what the government put forth, and therefore it went through the courts. But I don't know when the last time that happened. But that's your question of the morning. What are your thoughts on the governor's decision? Do you think that this is gonna make the government say this is why we need to be independent and push for independence? What do you think?
I'm like you, Jamal, and it's not too many times that I am, but with this not really understanding, because I understand that assent is approval. If anybody didn't know that. So she's reserving approval to push this bill forward and staying in line with London. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's basically it. I'm just mine is my thoughts are just very layman in the sense of put the bill through, let people be able to produce and consume marijuana, because that's what it is, for whatever use that they choose within some limitations of maybe, how much you can grow, how much this. At the end of the day, the government's going to make money off of this. That's the and decision. And I mean the government itself, not necessarily the governor, but she falls under the government. But they're going to make money because they're going to impose a tax and so forth. So let's just move forward with it. This is another way for economic revenue for the island, for tourists and other persons to come and boost our economic filter. And that's just my layman response to the whole situation, because all of the ye's and the assents and the not assent, like, yeah.
Yeah, Contact Place says, morning. From what I read, if the export part of the bill was taken out, then it would be a no-brainer. But it's the government who's playing, not overseas, as they would like us to believe. Well, again, I think there's some argument to what she's saying, because to many, it was quite arrogant of the government to take the same bill that was rejected by the Senate last year back without any changes. At the end of the day, Sherry, I don't disagree with you in terms, just move forward and let people be with it. But unfortunately, the world doesn't work like that for a territory of the UK. At the end of the day, there are things that in the agreement that Bermuda must adhere to. Bermudians seem to have made it clear that they don't want independence for whatever reason. So, because
Mhm.
Bermudians don't want independence for whatever reason, and that could be the lack of confidence in the incompetent government. That's my opinion. The incompetent part. I'm sure many would agree, though. But it could be a lack of belief or confidence in the government of the day, why they don't want to, a lack of
Mhm.
trust. They feel more secure with the UK. I don't know, but I will say these are some of the things that we have to deal with as a territory of the United Kingdom. As
Right.
long as we are a territory of the United Kingdom, um, there are rules and policies that come to that. Now the question is, are we comfortable with this? Are we okay with that? Now, question of the morning again, audience, is what are your thoughts on the governor's decision to reserve a cent on the government's cannabis bill? Like this is a cannabis bill.
Mhm.
This is a cannabis bill.
And
It
and
don't think of it just as a cannabis bill. Do you have an issue with the UK? Let's be honest. With all due respect to the governor, who's a lovely lady, she's not elected by the people of Bermuda. Do you
mm,
feel that she should be in 2022? We should still be allowing this to take place, where decisions that are made in the interest of the country aren't in the hands of the people that are elected. In fairness, David Burt wasn't elected as your premier by you either.
I knew we was getting there.
Go ahead, Jay.
I knew we was getting there. But I agree with you, Jamal, in regards to the governor having a say about this particular bill, and we didn't, of course, put her in the space that she's in.
Mhm.
I do feel like if Bermudians want this, give it to us. Everything comes with rules. Everything comes with different outlines that we must go by. The United States seems to have done this quite well
Mhm.
in many different states. Each state is continuously taking this on. What is the problem?
Well, again, I mean, states. It's interesting. You have federal laws, you have state laws. Different states are allowed to, create different laws, and a lot of them do it based on voting, um, referendums. I'm not
Yes.
quite sure there was a referendum in Bermuda's case, and I don't think it should be a referendum. I think you elect people to make decisions that they believe in the best interest of the populace. That said, if a referendum was done and the majority of Bermudians went in favor, again, if it doesn't adhere to the guidelines in place with the UK, then the governor, even if it was the people, would have the right to reserve a cent. So again,
Mhm.
this is a tough one. And honestly, strategically, people have been saying this is the thing that the government will use to push independence. However, as horrific as this government has been in governing, I highly doubt. I mean, I'm no genius, but I highly doubt the way the Bermudian people feel about the current government, they would ever want to move towards independence under this leadership. And
Right.
because of cannabis, oh, people will still smoke their joints illegally, sell their stuff illegally before they go independent under this regime. And that's just my humble opinion. Let's go to the audience. Karen Simmons for you, Sherry.
As an OT, what's that? These are the
Overseas
consequences.
territory.
Overseas territory. Thank you. These are the consequences that we'll need to abide by. The governor has this discretion to make this stance, whether we like it or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And again, it's putting the Bermudian people in a position. It's putting Bermudian people in a position where we say, all right, do we get angry at the governor for making this decision and want to move towards independence? Or do we look at the bill that was written and say, no,
Yeah.
the government put forth a garbage bill that gave the governor no choice? Sean
Mm.
Smith, he says, from what you read, she did not say no. No, she didn't. She did
Mhm.
not. She said reserve. She was very, as the Royal Gazette reported, it wasn't an outright rejection of it, right? It was a reservation. She did leave the door open for the government to bring back a bill she can sign. However, the government bought, apparently, what's been reported, the exact same bill that didn't pass last year for the reasons that they said that the governor would not approve of. they brought that same bill back. What does that tell you about the government?
We've
What's
been
that
set
proof?
up for the hooky doke, Jamal.
I'm just saying. Dana Smith says, I don't think this cannabis bill is the hill to die on as it relates to independence. You know what? You said it better than me. It's not.
Mm.
It's not. And honestly, if this is what the government of Bermuda thinks, if they believe this, they're dumber than the rocks I thought they were before.
Oh,
Seriously.
God.
I say that with respect. You cannot believe the way
Right.
you governed since 2017 that people, regardless of how high they go every night or weekend, the weed in Bermuda is not strong enough for them to want to go independent under the way you've governed. I'm sorry.
Oh, apparently in all ways.
Honestly, I cannot see how, and the government at press time, as I read from the Royal Gazette, there was no response from the government on this as of yet, right?
Mm.
So we don't know what the government's response is to the governor's decision. And to me, she was very diplomatic, as Sean Smith said. It wasn't an outright no. There needs to be some adjustments and changes. They were told this by the Senate last year, but instead, apparently, they came back with the very same bill. Now, she didn't say this when she was on the show 2 weeks ago today.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if the former national security minister had some issues with it and it led to her resignation. It wouldn't. She didn't
Listen.
say this, but I'm a human being. I used to be a voter before they removed me. I look at things for what they are. This elderberry tastes pretty good. Man.
And I have this saying with a splash of lemon, just so you know.
Good stuff. It keeps you level.
Yeah.
Keeps you level headed.
Just now kicking in for you.
Yeah, it happens. But what are your thoughts, folks? What are your thoughts on the governor's decision to reserve assent on the government of Bermuda's cannabis bill? Do you think this is the catalyst for the government to let Bermudians know? And Shayna, let's look at it. So let's say this cannabis bill isn't the hill to die on as it relates to independence. They're just ticking off a box. They're saying, okay, cannabis bill, passports, and this and that. What Bermudians are going to do is weigh the pros and cons, because I believe the Bermudian people are actually smarter than this government thinks they are. Because the way the government operates, or has been operating over the last 2 decades, is, people will forget about it. They'll get over it. This too shall pass, quote, right? That's how the governments operate, right? But I think the mindset of the Bermudian people has evolved to a point where you can't check off this. You can't check off that it takes long to get passports. Bermudians are going to weigh our options. Okay, how will this change the opportunity to do this? Go to the UK and have a new life. How will it change the opportunities my children will have to go to the UK and play football, or the relationship with the United States? How will it change our economy that's already in a bad state to many people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think people are smart enough to weigh the pros and cons. And my hope is that of the dirty people, we've got at least a few more Renee Mings and Minister Tanae Furberts, right? Even Curtis Dickinson's, that are respected enough to be listened to. I'm not quite sure it's a numbers game of brilliance in that space.
Yeah.
Based on what has happened. And you all think I'm tough on the government. No, I'm not. I'm just honest and real and sharing my perspective. Bermuda, we're in trouble.
Or they could go to the UK to smoke.
Yeah.
A lot more freely than,
Yeah. Michael Daniels says, in my opinion, the major thing keeping Bermuda from independence is a lack of consensus. I don't disagree with you, Mr. Michael Daniels. I don't. I think that, truth be told, if there was a referendum done on independence, I am not confident the majority of Bermudians would want it. Now, personally, my personal feeling is everyone should want off the plantation. Everyone. But I cannot knock those who feel more secure with room, board, right? And nourishment, like food. I'm not gonna knock you, because everyone's experience is different.
Right.
Everyone's gonna feel different about what they have versus what they may not have. Some people have a desire in them to want to do better on their own outside of you know being a territory. I don't believe in the scare tactics. Well, look what happened to other countries that went independent and whatnot. Yeah, some of them are doing very well, but we don't
Hmm.
talk about those ones. We talk about the ones who have been punished by the bigger nations. That's what we talk about. We talk about the ones where corruption has taken over governance. And I know Bermudian fear, like if we feel like we have corrupt governance already, what will it be like then? Folks, I tell you,
That's what I was thinking, Jamal.
I think that this is an opportunity for the government of Bermuda. This is an opportunity for the government of Bermuda to actually do something we say every day. Look within each and every one of us. Most of our problems can be solved if we took a look within ourselves. If the government looks within, leave the ego and arrogance on the side. We all have ego. Some people just don't express it. But put it on the side for
Yeah.
1 second and do something you probably haven't done since you were elected back to government in 2017, and humble yourselves enough to put the people first. Because something tells me if you go and try to push this independence thing, egg gonna be all over your face, scrambled, fried, over easy, however you. It's gonna be there. Let's bring Leanna into the conversation before I go
Not runny eggs.
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't eat eggs, but you know how everybody
You
likes eggs
don't.
differently. No,
Mm.
you didn't hear my story about eggs.
No.
So okay, I'll tell you real quick for Leanna.
Okay.
So Teo, we was doing a morning show, and Teo's friend at the time bought him an egg wrap,
Hmm.
and he was like, "Oh, I don't want this thing. You want it, Jay?" So I was like, "Yeah, nice little egg and cheese wrap." Teo looks over. He had this look, right? Looked over. He goes, eating chicken fetus. And it grossed me out ever since. And we talked about it recently. And he always would be like, man, I'm sorry I did that to you. Yeah, man, I've had that relationship with eggs ever since, man.
They do say, menstrual cycle. I've heard that,
Yeah,
or an abortion, and
yeah. Oh, stop. Oh, sorry. That's my story with eggs, people. Teo Dill in the film. Let's bring Leanna in. Lee, good morning, sister. How are you?
I want no parts of that. Absolutely no parts of that. Good
come on,
morning.
Lee.
Good morning.
What you drinking, Lee? You got coffee or tea?
I have tea, hot water and lime is what I choose to drink in the morning.
It's your
You
drink
know,
of choice.
drink of choice because apparently tea bags can still contain caffeine and
Mm,
certain things that we
Yes.
don't want to put in our body at this period.
absolutely. So, well, I don't usually drink tea. I usually just have water in my mug. But because of this COVID thing, I just have this elderberry thing going on. So
He caught COVID and has been scarred ever since.
yeah.
Changed his whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
Girl, you should see the lineup.
I heard that he had an entire, like, I don't know, pack of different medicines and different things that he
I'll tell
needed
you,
to.
I had strawberry CBD. I had some regular CBD. Oh, the real stuff, right? I had some vitamin D recommended by pharmacists in Bermuda.
Mhm.
I had some Bubba Kush marijuana. I had some what else I had, Sherry? I had some Goli
Bad berries,
yeah,
gooly
Okay.
berries.
Goli
Hmm.
berries. Yep, I had
It sounds like you had everything that was not allowed from this cannabis bill.
yeah. Hey, my Bubba Kush did me well. I ain't worrying about you all. Hey, look. Hey, look, I had one bad day with COVID, and still testing positive.
He
But
went Rasta. He had one bit of COVID and went Rasta.
Ross has been telling me
He's
for
still
over 2 years.
testing. That's the thing, poor sight.
No, Fluffy.
You want
But
to
if he listened to Sherry and
I'm
Sandra,
talking to Sherry and Sandra.
Oh, yes, because Sherry warned him not to go. I
You
am just thinking of the group chat.
Why you guys don't tell people on listen? They already know. Shucks, throw them down.
Was the first one.
The first one,
Man.
she said, absolutely not.
Gotta go to the news break. I'm sure you got something to tell us. But hey, folks, don't go anywhere. We're talking about what Bermudian heritage means to you after Liana finishes exposing me. So over to
I
you.
love it.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry. TGIF to all of those who are tuned in with us today. I hope you all are having a great start to this fantastic Friday morning. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, as we've been discussing, Governor Raina Legge has declined to give assent on the governor's controversial spark constitutional distress yesterday when the governor said in a statement that the legislation appeared to her to be inconsistent with what she understood to be obligations held by the UK and the Bermuda under UN conventions. However, the governor urged the Bermuda officials to work with the British government to find a compromise in comments which seemed to suggest she was trying to avoid a constitutional crisis. Now, for bills to become law in Bermuda, they must first pass in Parliament and then be granted assent by the UK appointed governor, and it is highly unusual for assent to be reserved. Speaking on the governor's decision, Shadow Minister for Home Affairs and Legal Affairs, Scott Pearman, said it should really come as no surprise to anyone that royal assent has yet to be granted on this particular bill. Now, he said, if it is ultimately withheld, that should not surprise Premier David Burt either. He reminded the public that although this bill was one of Premier Burt's flagship initiatives, almost half of his PLP MPs did not vote for the bill. Mr. Pearman said that the bill was defeated twice in the Senate, and the opposition has consistently described this as a bad bill. In other news, the island mourns this morning as it was revealed a second victim of the Southampton house explosion has sadly passed away in hospital. Police have confirmed that 50-year-old Jove Marcarinas and his wife, 49-year-old Oscar, were critically injured in the blast that destroyed their apartment and heavily damaged the Hilltop Court apartments on the night of May 2nd. Mr. Mascarina's death from the explosion was announced just 2 days after the incident. His wife was being treated in the intensive care unit of the hospital, where she was pronounced dead on Tuesday evening. Now, the couple, who were guest workers from the Philippines, were well known among the community. A police spokesperson said that a police family liaison officer was giving ongoing support to both their families. The investigation regarding the circumstances and cause of this tragic incident continues. Anyone with any information, even if it seems insignificant, is urged to call 247-1744 as soon as possible. And Premier David Burt last night attempted to reassure the public that the Fairmont Southampton's new business model will be successful because of a commitment to continued reinvestment. Now, he was speaking at a town hall meeting held at Warwick Camp last evening about the hotel, where he was joined by Bermuda Industrial Union President Chris Ferbert and Tourism Minister Vance Campbell. Now, reports say that many audience members are said to have sought assurances that there will be employment and training opportunities for Bermudians. Premier Burt said that the island is seeing the expansion of the convention space, an expansion of the beach space, and an expansion of the entertainment spaces to support more group businesses, which is vital for the off-season. Meanwhile, Mr. Ferbert said that the previous hotel was successful in that it never operated at a loss despite shrinking profit margins. Now, Mr. Campbell, on the other hand, said that the goal was to increase visitor numbers in the off-season by 56% and reiterated that developers have a requirement to hire 70% Bermudians in order to be eligible for concessions, and that managerial training for Bermudians was also a requirement for concession eligibility. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 76 and a low near 71 degrees. Today will usher in some sunny periods with a chance of a shower or two developing later on. Now, high pressure is building in from the northeast, and this sets up a largely fine and dry forecast for the weekend where there will be plenty of sunshine and warming temperatures. That's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Can I just say that both of you look so nice today? Your shirts are really nice and nice yellow today, really, and that nice pattern, Sherry.
Thank
What
you.
is he on? What's going on?
I don't know, but you
I'm
see, I'm like,
confused.
thank
You
you.
see it. Thank
Well,
you.
it's just saying, like, you all say I never notice anything, so I just, I
Thank
notice
you.
really nice shirts and collars.
Okay, and it's so unusual that it doesn't happen as often. It's so unusual, it doesn't feel right.
Just as unusual as this governor not giving a cent.
Yeah.
What is going on today?
Yes. But as we move on,
Yes.
I will give us the days of the year. I feel very uncomfortable. But nevertheless, today is the first day of the first Friday, the 13th of the year, which is May 13th, 2022, marks National Blame Someone Else Day. Don't be blamed that day for anything that goes wrong anyway. If we must leave the house today, go ahead and plan your best stories of how someone else or something may be at fault for whatever happens. We've all had plenty of practice, so it shouldn't be a wildly daunting task.
Well, it's always the government's fault. Always the government's fault. I mean, come on now.
Very fitting. Very fitting.
Good job,
I love
Mal.
it.
Good job. See, you was on it. See,
You
this
was
feels
on
right.
it. On point. Look at that.
It isn't, but Friday the 13th was always looked at as like a bad day or something to people. Or something.
It does, but I'm gonna bring
Yeah.
some light and wish my nephew happy birthday. Ravi's birthday is today.
Happy birthday, nephew.
Happy birthday to God. Happy
Mr.
birthday.
Oh,
to
Marcia.
Happy birthday. See
morning.
what happens when they don't drown me out, folks? That actually was really good. Let me hit up Stevie Wonder, boy. Let me hit up Stevie.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Rev.
birthday.
My twin.
How old does he go?
9, I believe. We're getting into middle school.
Oh my goodness. Double digits is on the horizon.
Oh,
Hope you're ready.
you know, Sherry.
9 or 10, actually. I
Yeah,
can't
she ain't sure.
remember.
She's not
No, I
sure.
don't.
2013?
There we go.
You know what that
Yeah,
means?
9.
When they got older, you got older. That's all that means. Right?
Did
Sure.
you have to? We were just
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a good moment.
Oh, look,
Hey.
11.
You're Laura.
11.
You're way off.
I was only there from the beginning. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Happy 11th birthday, Ravi.
Happy birthday, Ratty.
Happy birthday, Ravi.
11 candles, brother. Lee, have yourself a restful. Have yourself, let me repeat, have yourself a restful weekend. And I'm speaking as your big brother, your friend, teammate.
Yes.
Enjoy your weekend.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
Brianna.
I promise you, I will only text you once.
I hear you.
Lucky you.
Well, Sherry, you gotta make up for the Mississippi.
She does. Have a good weekend, guys, and I'll see
You
you
as
on
well.
Monday. I will get as much rest as I possibly can.
All right,
Okay.
Lee. Talk soon.
See you later.
All right, folks. Liana Lambert there. Hey, do not go anywhere. We've got another giveaway for you today. Also, we are gonna talk about what is what's Bermuda Heritage? What does it mean to you? What's Bermudian Heritage to you? I haven't written anything down, so I'm gonna write some things down during this commercial break to figure out what Bermudian Heritage is to me. Sherry probably already knows what she thinks it is to her. And what, Sherry?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Back in 1995, a pair of entrepreneurs working in their garage with essential oils began to realize the potential of organically produced body care products. Now, in a 56,000 square foot facility, EO products are shipping to millions worldwide, an inspiration to aspiring family businesses to be sure. EO products were the first in their field to follow the quality and safety guidelines established for organic foods in their production of high-end organic body care products. This month we're featuring EO Lemon Coconut Lotion. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Sherry is out, folks. She's gone. And I am here for you for the rest of the show. But the question of the morning is, the second question of the morning is, what does Bermudian heritage mean to you? What do you think, when you go away to college, when you're away visiting family or friends, what do you tell them that Bermudian heritage is to you? I'll just give you an idea of what I feel like it is. One thing I adore and appreciate about being Bermudian is our song. I think our accent is a great part of who we are. That's why it always fascinated me how people would go overseas for like 4 months and come back speaking with a heavy accent from wherever they were, whether it was Jamaica or the United States or even the UK. I think when I think of what heritage means, it's the way we sound. It's a unique sound, but we have a tendency to always want to sound like others. I know people always, there are things that like Bermuda shorts. I don't think that's my heritage. Bermuda shorts represent a specific group, but I don't feel like that necessarily represents Bermudian heritage for me. I would rather a Gumbe uniform than the Bermuda shorts. To me, that represents my heritage. Now, that's not to say that it can't represent someone's heritage in Bermuda, but what does Bermudian heritage mean to you? If you were overseas and you had to explain to someone who, what represents Bermuda, what would you say? Traveling Trotty says Bermudian culture is a combination of who we are, African, Indian, Portuguese, and Caribbean cultures. When you say who we are, you mean reflection of the entire population, or are you saying as individuals we have all of those things in them? Just for clarity, because I ain't got no Portuguese in me, I don't think. I love the Portuguese people, but I think you mean Bermudians as a whole. The island, the culture reflects a combination of all that. And to that point, if that's what you mean, I remember I was with a group of people when I was working for Bermuda Tourism, and they were stating that you can learn Bermuda's culture from codfish and potatoes, like how traditionally Bermudians of West Indian descent would use butter sauce on their codfish and potatoes, and the Portuguese would use tomato sauce. Like, I didn't know that until I was an adult. My grandpa used tomato sauce, and I always like butter sauce, but as you all know, I'm not a big codfish and potatoes eater. That's not my thing. I prefer my fish fried, not boiled. But that's neither here nor there. As individuals, thank you so much for the clarity, Trotty. So Bermudian culture is a combination of African, Indian, Portuguese, and Caribbean cultures, she says, individuals. But what does Bermudian heritage mean to you? When you with pride, when you speak as a Bermudian with pride, this is Heritage Month. We're celebrating all things Bermuda this month. Heritage. What does it mean to you? What are some things you cherish as a Bermudian that you feel like you can only experience in Bermuda and nowhere else? Are there enough things that we can experience? I remember arguing with Bermudians when I was in Huntsville and speaking about the gumbes, and people like, oh, gumbes are not unique to Bermuda. They have gumbes throughout the Caribbean. And we know different islands have the Junkanoo and different things, but our version of the gumbays is a bit unique. The version in the Turks and Caicos is a bit unique to them. And Bahamas is unique. And Jamaica is unique. I believe they're called Junkanoo in Jamaica and Bahamas, but they're very unique in terms of their performance and their colors and so on. So I do think that the gumbays, the way we do dance and drums and march into the streets, is unique to Bermudian heritage and culture. I think we do a lot of other things unique to Bermuda. Heritage, the fact that Bermudians, I don't know, I mean, I could be wrong, but the way we go out and set up for Bermuda Day, like we put tape on the ground and act like we own a piece of public property for like a week, for a day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's unique. That's heritage. Art, Traveling Trotty says Bermudian architecture. Um, the way we collect water from our roofs, that's heritage. That is heritage. Like there are countries, folks, right now that are looking at ways to do what we've mastered, whether it's building our houses for hurricane safety, whether it's our roofs being able to collect fresh water. This is heritage. These are things that represent who we are as a people. And these are things we should celebrate and share with others when we're speaking about what Bermudian heritage is. What does Bermudian heritage mean to you? I would love to know. What does it mean to you? Is it a combination of different cultures, people from different backgrounds to you? Is it our architecture? I love when I see, every now and then a news story gets shared on Bermuda media that there's a house built like Bermuda in someplace else, like with the roof and with the bricks and so on. I actually love that. I absolutely love that kind of stuff because it shows that our culture is spreading beyond the shores of Bermuda. And I always say about Jamaicans, you can find a Jamaican almost anywhere on this planet. And one thing about them is they take their culture with them, even if it's just the music. They take it. It could be the food. They take it. They take with them their culture, their heritage everywhere. Um, Traveling Trotty also adds Bermudian lingo. Well, what are some of the things? I said earlier, our accent, but the lingo is definitely unique. It's definitely. What are some of the things about Bermudian lingo that you think makes us unique? That makes us stand out. That I mean, there are certain things I thought only Bermudians said, like "fact." Like I saw someone on Twitter say the other day, like I thought Bermudians were the only ones that said this, and it was someone from Barbados. Rosalind Famous says one part of Bermuda heritage, cop match, all of it. The best time of the year in Bermuda. Well, you all know I love cop match. I love the weekend. I love the everything that comes with it as well. What I do love more about it now is that we are honoring our history on both days, with Emancipation Day being the first, recognizing the end of slavery as we knew it. Let me use my language carefully. And then obviously the second day now being Mary Prince Day. So, cop match is very unique to Bermuda. If I'm not mistaken, we were one of the first countries, if not still the only, that has an official holiday celebrating Emancipation Day. Shonat Bell said, our colorful houses. That's what Bermudian heritage means to her, our colorful houses. I do like the pictures. In the US, sometimes when you go through a neighborhood and all the homes look the same and then one house stands out and it's purple, it just makes it look bad. In Bermuda, it's something that everyone takes such pride in, with your beautiful different color houses. And we don't just do regular colors. We do bright, colorful, as she says, like flamboyance. Like we go all out. I loved when my house was pinky peach. I'm saying pinky peach because I don't remember which one it was, but it was one pinky peach color. It was either pink or peach. Maybe my aunt's tuned in and she'll tell us. Karen Simmons says, Good Friday, kite making and flying and shooting marbles, fish cakes with hot cross buns. I don't know who does it like us. I know they fly kites in other places. They make kites in other places. They fly them in other places. They shoot marbles. They eat fish cakes. They eat hot cross buns. Some of them even eat hot cross buns with that fruitcake stuff in it, right? I wouldn't recommend it. But I don't think anybody does it like Bermudians. We do it, and we do it well. What does Bermudian heritage mean to you? We've got Good Friday, we've got cock match, we've got architecture, we've got our lingo. Michelle White, she says Bermudian heritage is being known to everybody and saying good morning to strangers. You know, I remember working in Bermuda tourism, right? And we had some non-Bermudians working there. And the non-Bermudians would literally come in that office and not say anything. Like, and Bermudians would take it personal, like, yo, like if you're gonna come in our space, you need to adapt to our space. Like in our space, we say good morning. And they just couldn't understand it. Why do I have to come in the office and say good morning? Well, you don't. But just know how people are going to react if you are that odd person who's coming into our space, right? You're coming into our space and you don't want to adapt to, you don't go to Italy and try to get them to adapt to you. You adapt to what it is. So if you're coming into our space, you want to adapt to our culture and our heritage. So yes, good morning is huge in Bermuda. It's something that almost got me beat up in New York. I remember when I first moved to New York City, I said good morning to someone. They said, "What'd you say?" I said, "Good morning." And they just walked off. So I had to learn that not all things that are appreciated and tolerated and loved in our culture are accepted in other places. And I had to learn that fast in New York City. Rosalind Famous says our accent is really one of the true Bermudian products. We really need to do what we can to preserve it. Well, Rosalind, that was the first thing I said earlier. I said the Bermudian accent. I love it. I cherish it. I think my accent gets me has brought me a lot of success in my career outside Bermuda. I think that our accents need to be cherished as well and preserved. When we, I remember a time, as I stated earlier, I remember a time when we had people, they would leave Bermuda for, a short amount of time, 4 months, go to the UK, go to Jamaica, go to the US, and they would come back to Bermuda speaking totally different. As a person who's been out of Bermuda for over 20 years, or about 3 years, I never understood how people can do that. And I'm not surrounded by Bermudians in my space, but I never understood it. But it was a great acting job now that I look back at it. All righty. Question of the morning. What does Bermudian heritage mean to you? Colorful houses. That was another one. Architecture. I'm huge on that. I am huge on that. I honestly believe that our architecture could be something that we can benefit from long term in terms of, we talk about economy and growing Bermuda. We should be out there doing stuff that helps our economy. What that looks like, I don't know, but I'm sure there's still Bermudians that know how to make a roof that can generate water. I mean, there are places in the US where people can't find clean drinking water. Bermuda, we might have the solution. We could be the solution, but I don't think we think beyond the shores of our beautiful island. Michelle White says, when I was hiring guest workers, good morning was part of our orientation program. Karen Simmons, actually, this is a good point. I didn't know this until I met my wife, actually. She says, our sporting events in school, house competitions. I didn't realize that schools in the US didn't have sports day. I did not know that until, and I'm talking about, I didn't know that probably to some few years ago, that sports day was not something that was held outside. Sorry, I wouldn't say outside Bermuda. I know it's held in other islands, but I didn't know it was something that wasn't like traditional everywhere. I thought sports day was a natural, normal thing. We grew up in Bermuda. We had house competition, sports day. We had inter-school sports. We had what the other stuff, I don't know what it's called, zone sports. Sports day was huge in Bermuda. It was bragging rights, and we loved it. But that is something that's uniquely Bermudian in terms of our heritage. That is our heritage. To this day, you see MP Famous, Chris Famous out there arguing about Gold House and Greenhouse. That's heritage. That is heritage. I don't care. It was Berkeley. I don't know who everybody's for, and I'm got friends that went Berkeley, so I don't want to offend you all. But whatever house MP Famous was the one, he says that they're the best. You all could disagree with him all you want, but he says they're the best. Like he basically, I guess because his for St. George is like me and Cup Match, I guess his house in Berkeley was like the Somerset of Cup Match, like they always been it. So that's what I'm going with. Rosalind Famous says, gotta give a special shout out to Crown and Anchor. Yes, that is a unique Bermudian game, gambling game. And interestingly enough, I wonder if that's going to be in one of the casinos when they open up. Sam Cat Play says, taking intricate details of everything we do here and not Americanizing it, to me, is Bermudian heritage. Keeping it. Now, you know what is interesting, Sam Cat? I always say when I go to different restaurants, so I like different cuisines, Greek, Indian, Jamaican. I always ask, like, when you say spicy, is it American spicy or is it Indian or Jamaican spicy? Like, I don't want my food Americanized. I agree with you with that. Sean Smith says it's somewhat of a lost art, but how we built our sailboats back in the day. Interesting. I didn't know that. I'm learning something. I would love to see a video on that. Rosalind Famous says the Bermudian roof was spotlighted on a BBC podcast as a true and unique architectural feature. I remember recently a Bermudian gentleman done a TikTok and got so many views about our roofs, I believe it was about. So I think that's unique. You know what's interesting? And I'm glad no one said it, but no one said Gosling's rum. It's interesting. Michelle White says, I think being able to change our accents in other cultures is also Bermudian. We are chameleons, really. We just adjust to environments. I think that's our plus too. No, that's just not being authentic to me, Michelle. Change our accents. I don't think. I don't know. I believe. Nah. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Greenhouse Traveling Trotty says that's that Barkley over there. I'm picking cherries and loquats. Now that is Bermudian. Getting up in that damn tree, regardless how old you are, picking those loquats, loquat, jam. These are unique things to Bermuda. Absolutely. We don't have any mango trees, but we damn sure have some loquats. One. Nicole Walker says, good morning, listening. Whistling frogs and crickets at night. My aunt lives overseas and says that is something she misses. I'll tell you this, folks. I remember when I was living in Bermuda and I'd be on the phone with people overseas. They'd be like, what's that noise? I would always be like, what noise are you talking about? That noise, it sounds like that's just the cricket singing every night. How do you guys put up with that? I'm like, I didn't notice it until you said anything. What do you mean, how do we put up with it? It's so Bermudian, you don't even realize it, you know? We've got Karen Simmons says Gold House and St. George's. There you go. And kites, yes, Rosalind Famous. Someone did say that. Yes, this is my thing. Sam Cat Play says the railway trail and fishing off the rocks. That was my thing. Folks, I love fishing off the rocks. As you know me, I just always had to have someone with me who was willing to take the fish off the hook. Always had to have someone with me willing to take the fish off the hooks. But what does Bermudian heritage mean to you? That's the question, folks. And we have a lot of ideas. And I hope that anyone who's tuned in and anyone who has family, young people, all of these things we share with them. Because there's one thing that disappoints me is people who feel or believe that we don't have any heritage, that we don't have any culture. We do. It's unique. It's something that we should love. It's who we are. It's who we are. We are more than our politics, our religion. We are the architecture. We are the pride when a hurricane's coming and going out and checking on our neighbors and families and friends after that hurricane. That is who we are. We are people who greet one another in other people's presence. We are people who enjoy our holidays. We are people who celebrate other people's holidays better than them. We have a lot of Bermudian heritage and culture. And it's something that we should never forget. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to do the book giveaway. We're going to do the feud today. I'm going to ask the audience, and maybe we'll do a little mug today for someone who gets the answers for the feud. But we're going to do the book giveaway today. And if you have one, engage at thedailyhour.com. Do not contact any of my partners at their day jobs. I did see someone saying contact Keitha at her job. Do not do that. Someone will be in touch with you. All right? Engage at thedailyhour.com. We have received every email from every winner this week, and someone will be in touch with you regarding your prize. All right? Stick with us. We'll be back after this. Do not go anywhere.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
I'm part of the SSCP, giving us opportunities to go out and sell, which is what I'm doing today.
One of the most important things I learned in the SSCP is that failure is just a part of being an entrepreneur.
If there's a book community, then you can't go anywhere, can you?
I just believe it's a really beautiful and amazing experience for everybody.
A lot of late nights being up, trying to finalize things, especially for me.
You don't have to do everything at once. Little steps is the key to success.
They helped me go through every step of the way.
It has helped me gain more confidence, so that's one thing.
I'm Marley Spriggs and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Joshua Allen and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Trey Robertson Richards and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Namira Rayner and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Vincent Darrell and I am an entrepreneur.
I'm Shayla Swan and I'm an entrepreneur.
I am Sophia Paxenhan. I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Zion and I'm a young entrepreneur.
All right, welcome back to the big show, folks. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0, great taste, no alcohol. If you appreciated today's discussion and conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these kind of conversations as well to make sure that our community feels the pride and love that we should have in one another. Thanks again to One Communications, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we're able to do this with you. All right, let's do this. Time for the Daily Play. Here we go. Name something that happens every Easter Sunday. Name something that happens every Easter Sunday. I'm going to put you in Sherry. Name something that happens every Easter Sunday. What you got for me? Yep. Karen Simmons got it. Karen Simmons got it. Church service was number one. Church service was number one. We got Easter dinner. That was actually the last answer on the list. But church was number one. So Karen, we got you first. All right, here we go. Second one. Name something a really paranoid mobster might have that's bulletproof. Name something a really paranoid mobster might have that's bulletproof. This is easy. Come on now. All right. Come on now. Car number two. Car's number two. I see a lot of people saying car. Here we go. Fast. Shikarina got it. Shikarina and Sam Cat said us and Hadley's this one. So no one's got all three. So the last one, name something kids would probably never do in the morning if it wasn't for mom. I just spoke to my niece about this last night. Name something kids probably wouldn't do in the morning if it wasn't for mom. Come on, mothers. What you got? What is it? got it, David Michael R. Wilson. I mean, you all got it. You all got it. But David Michael R. Wilson's came up first, but brushing teeth, you all are in there. You all in there. Someone said wash face. There we go. We got a different one. We got comb hair, but brush teeth. It was brush teeth. All righty. Let's do this. I'll wrap it up. The Daily Hour is the hashtag. Hashtag the Daily Hour for this morning's prize for the final book that we are giving away. So we're giving away a book titled Homecoming, Overcoming Fear and Trauma to Reclaim Your Whole Authentic Self by Dr. Tamar Bryant, who will be hosting a free webinar tomorrow, Saturday, May 14th, to put on by the Bermuda Psychology Association, the Bermuda College, and Mount Zion AME Church. So you can hashtag the Daily Hour right now for your chance to win. While we wrap it up, here's my final thoughts on today's show, the discussion regarding the governor, reserve, and royal assent. I'll just say this much. The government of Bermuda, I don't know what their plans are, but I'm not quite sure you're in a position to push for independence. So I hope that's not it. I'm not an expert at politics, but what I will say is based on the governor's response, just go back and edit it, fix it. Just put it in line with what will get you over the hump so that people can actually have the ability to medicate themselves if they like, or become entrepreneurs if they like in that space. But I don't think it's a time to go to war with the UK over something that's probably not going to work out in your favor. As far as the Bermudian heritage, folks, as I said already, have these conversations with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are heritage. We have a lot to be proud of, who we are. I used to say, man, I envy the way Jamaicans have so much pride, but actually I don't. I think that we should look to them and say, you know what? We can be just like them. We have everything to be proud of just like them. We just need to share it with the world, who we are, what's unique about us, and why we're adored by one another. All right, let's do this daily giveaway. Let's do the giveaway. Let's see what we've got. Here we go. Let's bring it up. Let's see who it is. Who's it gonna be? Oh, let's hit that drum roll. Sonia Clark. All right, Sister Sonia. All righty, Sonia, you are today's. Congratulations to you, Sonia Clark. You are the 5th winner. So please send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. Everyone who has won this week, your emails will be sent to the Bermuda Psychology Association today. So you will not be contacted by anyone from Bermuda Communications Group or on the Daily Hour team. You'll be contacted by someone at the Bermuda Psychology Association to retrieve your book. Your emails will be sent today. I repeat, they will not come from anyone at Bermuda Communications Group. You do not need to reach out to anyone at Bermuda Communications Group. All emails that have been sent this week have been received. All right. I don't have any daily inspiration quote from anyone else today, so I'm going to leave you with this. Have a wonderful weekend. And if you aren't having a wonderful weekend, as Tabitha Brown says, don't you go messing up someone else's. How's that? Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. I'm Jamel Hartman, my friends. Before I tell you goodbye, what I want to say is ensure that you are subscribed to us on YouTube. Ensure that you have subscribed on our website. And ensure that you have followed us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you're on TikTok, go over there too. Make it a safe and great weekend. I'll see you next week. Peace.